Now this entire lesson will be about working with layers. So let's come over here to the layers panel on the right hand side. Just click and drag that panel out so that we can see that panel on its own. We're going to be doing a lot of work in here. Now if you don't see the layers panel, remember that all of your panels are always listed alphabetically inside of your window menu. You can always access it there as well. So inside of the layers panel, you can see that all new default documents start with at least one layer in them. That is layer 1. It's not a very descriptive layer name, but that's your job, and we'll see how to do that in a minute. Now first, let's talk about some of the advantages of using layers. Am I suggesting this just as a way to make your life more complicated? Absolutely not. I really do believe that layers can make things so much easier. Now think about this layer here. We have this blue frame in the background, then we have this photograph, then we have this logo, and we also have some text. But if you look here in the layers panel, it's all on the same layer. So first of all, layers can help you organize different kinds of content. And speaking of different kinds of content, imagine publishing in multiple languages. You can use layers to organize text in different languages on separate layers. So even if you're not publishing in multiple languages, you might be designing a piece that's used in different parts of the country that will have certain regional variations. Again, any kind of variation, whether it's language or design or localizations, are also a great reason to use layers. One of the last things that I'll mention here, and as we look at the layers palette, we'll drive this home, that is essentially the separation of design and editorial. So with that in mind, let's start editing our layers. First, we want to change the layer name here of layer 1. So to do that, just double click, and that will open the layer options dialog box. And let's go ahead and give this a little bit more of an intuitive name, such as background. Go ahead and click OK. And all we change there is the name. Now we want to create a new layer. So at the bottom of the layers panel, click the new button, just click it once, and that will make a new layer called layer 2. Go ahead and click that layer name, and we'll rename that layer Images. Now the first thing that you should notice is that the color by default automatically changes to something different. The first option that you see here at the very top was light blue. The second layer was red. If we make a third layer, it will be green, and it'll just go down the list. You don't have to accept these defaults. You can customize them from that pull-down list, but by default, each new layer has a unique color. Also here in this dialog box, we have several options, including the ability to show layers, lock layers, set layers to printing or not printing, and so on. We'll get into some more of these options in a moment. For now, go ahead and click OK. Now we're going to create a couple more layers before we're done. Now instead of creating a new layer and then naming it, an easier shortcut way to do that is just to hold the Alt key on Windows or the Option key on the Mac when you click that Create New Layer button. When you hold down Alt or Option, that automatically brings up the new layer dialog box, and here we can create a third layer called Vectors. Click OK, and let's do it one more time holding Alt on Windows, Option on the Mac. We'll create a fourth layer called Type. When you're done, go ahead and click OK.